On March 19, 1982, the rock world was shattered by the death of Randy Rhoads at just 25 years old. The Ozzy Osbourne guitarist, a classically trained virtuoso who fused Baroque scales with blistering metal, had revolutionized guitar playing in barely 4 years. From his early days teaching at his mother's music school to crafting timeless solos on Blizzard of Ozz, Rhoads approached music with scholarly precision. Unlike his peers, he avoided rockstar excess, often skipping parties to practice. His tragic death in a plane crash cut short a career that still defines metal guitar today. Quiet, relentless, and endlessly innovative, Rhoads' legacy lives on in every shredder who dares to push boundaries. Randy Rhoads was born December 6, 1956, in Santa Monica, California. His musical journey began early. At age 6, he started formal lessons at Mazonia School of Music, the North Hollywood institution run by his mother, Dolores. A dedicated music educator, Dolores created an environment where classical training was emphasized. Young Randy would spend hours practicing in the school's small studios, developing both technical discipline and creative curiosity. This unique upbringing, part structured education, part artistic immersion, laid the foundation for his future innovations in rock guitar. The school remains open today, still bearing witness to Rhoads' musical beginnings. In late 1979, after his dismissal from Black Sabbath, Ozzy and manager Sharon Arden auditioned numerous guitarists, but none captured the right sound. Sharon later recalled most players simply imitated Tony Iommi's style. Randy Rhoads, then teaching at his mother's music school, was initially reluctant to try out. His audition at LA's Record Plant studio changed everything when Rhoads played early riffs of what would become Crazy Train. His unique blend of classical technique and metal power immediately stood out. Though accounts differ on whether Ozzy was sober enough to properly hear it that day, the audition ultimately launched one of rock's most influential guitar partnerships. The young guitarist couldn't have anticipated how this decision would change his life, pairing his classical-influenced style with rock's most notorious frontman. Their collaboration, though tragically brief, would redefine heavy metal guitar forever.
Ozzy who? The Black Sabbath guy? Nah, I'm good.
But after like the fifth call, Randy finally caved. Not because he dreamed of stardom, but because he wanted Dana to stop bugging him. The details of Randy Rhoads' audition remain disputed. According to Rhoads' account to friends, when he arrived at the studio, Ozzy remained in the control booth while he played through a small practice amp. After running through some riffs, Dana Strum emerged to inform him he'd gotten the gig, leaving Rhoads uncertain if Ozzy had even properly heard him. This contrasts with Ozzy's recollection of an immediate, enthusiastic offer. The discrepancy likely stems from Ozzy's well-documented intoxication during this period. What's undisputed is that Rhoads' playing made such an impression that within weeks, he was flown to England to begin recording what would become Blizzard of Ozz. Despite Randy Rhoads' successful audition, Ozzy returned to England in late 1979 and briefly rehearsed with guitarist Bernie Torme, a decision likely influenced by management. Rhoads, still in Los Angeles, grew uncertain about his status with the band. However, when Ozzy and bassist Bob Daisley reviewed audition tapes, Rhoads' playing stood out. By early December, Rhoads received confirmation. He was officially hired. The confusion stemmed from Ozzy's chaotic transition into solo work, but once Randy joined the project in England, their creative partnership solidified quickly. Within months, they began recording Blizzard of Ozz, cementing one of rock's most influential collaborations. The unlikely pair of Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne proved revolutionary. After finalizing the lineup with bassist Bob Daisley and drummer Lee Kerslake, they recorded Blizzard of Ozz in early 1980. Rhoads' classical-inspired guitar work, heard on tracks like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, redefined metal's technical possibilities. The album, released in September 1980, became a landmark, selling over 4 million copies worldwide. While Dana Strum's persistence initiated the collaboration, it was Rhoads' musicianship and Ozzy's vision that forged its legacy. Tragically, Rhoads would only complete one more album, Diary of a Madman, before his death in 1982, but his influence endures in every neoclassical metal guitarist today. In early 1982, Randy Rhoads had grown weary of touring life. He had enrolled at UCLA to study music theory between tours and spoke seriously about pursuing formal education. In a final interview, Rhoads admitted, "I want to get my degree and teach." Tragically, these plans were cut short on March 19th, when the 25-year-old guitarist died in a plane crash during the Diary of a Madman tour. His notebook, found afterward, contained sketches of a concerto and class schedules, poignant reminders of the scholarly path he never got to walk. Randy Rhoads' collaboration with Ozzy Osbourne lasted just 28 months. Yet, in that brief period, the classically trained guitarist revolutionized metal with his innovative techniques on Blizzard of Ozz and Diary of a Madman. Rhoads' extraordinary playing cut through the haze, creating one of rock's most influential guitar partnerships that still inspires musicians today. Though Randy Rhoads died at just 25, his musical innovations became fundamental to metal guitar. His classically inspired techniques, particularly his use of harmonic minor scales, tapped arpeggios and pedal point riffs, revolutionized the genre. These approaches remain essential vocabulary for metal guitarists, heard in the playing of everyone from Zakk Wylde to Sinister Gates. Modern shredders continue to study his solos note for note, while guitar magazines routinely rank his work among the most influential in rock history. From underground metal bands to prestigious music schools, Rhoads' legacy endures as both a technical blueprint and creative inspiration decades after his tragic passing. Randy Rhoads was more than a guitar legend. He was music's brightest flame, extinguished too soon. 40 years later, we still hear his spirit in every harmonic scream, every neoclassical run that pushes metal forward. The quiet teacher turned revolutionary left us with timeless music and endless what-ifs. We miss not just his playing, but his relentless curiosity, his humility, his unwritten future. Randy showed us how beautiful heavy music could be, and though he's gone, that polka-dotted V still soars through our speakers, forever young, forever brilliant.